thegearnetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Listen here, Pumpkinhead. This is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and you are listening to my favorite podcast. Oh, baby, it helps me win so much money. You are listening to Chazz and Jay on the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. It's the American Dream, and they are living it.
Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. Win on one. Oh, win on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey, let's next up to that. Eyes on three. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Chazz Cast. It's your boy, Chazz, and we are doing our first ever live Fantasy Football Bros stream. We were trying it just on my Facebook, but nobody could find it, apparently. So now we're on Facebook, and we are on the Chazz Cast on Twitch, which should be able to get some more people there. So, join with me as of right now, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jay Coleman. Jay Coleman, what's up, dog?
What's going on?
I am ready to do this live one. We had a false start. Have you got anything yet now on it?
Double check. Yep. It says you're live on Twitch.
So Twitch is working for you, but you're not seeing it on the Facebook. Okay, whatever. It tells me it's streaming on Facebook and Twitch. So either way, it's fine. It's fine either way. At least there's two options for people right now. So yeah, we are trying our first ever live live podcast here. Maybe get some people in there chatting and saying what they think about certain teams. So upon the little research that we do, Jay, did we find something special when it comes to the NFC rookies?
There's a ton of QBs and running backs.
No, receivers too.
And receivers, yeah.
It seems like to me last week was a bunch of nothing.
Except for like a few.
Yeah.
This one seems like they've got everybody.
Yeah.
NFC just got all the good players.
Yeah, all first two picks, first two quarterbacks right off the board, NFC. The 3 wide receivers in the top 9, NFC. The number 1 running back off the board, NFC. So there is quite a bit to talk about NFC. We're waiting on Adam joining us. I don't know if Dave will be joining us, but we also have a special. You guys seem to enjoy our all-time favorite quarterback episode draft we did last week, and we're going to do our running backs this time. So you prepared for that, Jay?
Yes, sir.
We got Saints Joe in the chat already talking about dynasty pick Spencer Rattler. Yeah, them 5th round quarterbacks that forced to change schools. They usually do great in the NFL, Saints Joe. But hey, anything's an upgrade over your boy Derek Carr. So I can understand the excitement about that. Thanks for stopping by the chat, Saints Joe. We didn't even really get rolling yet, and if you depending on how long you stay, you might be able to hear our favorite running back of all time draft. I'm actually having a bev. I'm enjoying a Bud Light seltzer. America, Kid Rock hates me now. Kid Rock hates me. Well, while we're waiting on Adam, why don't we just get started, Jay?
Yeah, fuck it.
Adam's probably giving us that, I'll be there in a minute, and then, I'm coming, guys, and then, that's kind of what's going on right now. So, well, pretty apropos that we're starting in the desert with the Arizona Cardinals, and they have quite possibly the first rookie to be drafted in fantasy football drafts this year in Marvin Harrison Jr., the 6'4", 205-pound receiver out of Ohio State, one of the most talked about receivers for years. I mean, they're talking about 2 years ago him being a first-round pick. They're talking about him last year being the first receiver off the board. That's how lauded this guy is. Everybody talks about all the great receivers to come out of Ohio State. Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith-Jigba, and this guy is supposed to be better than all of them. So he has a lot of hype. He's got the pedigree, being the son of a Hall of Famer. He's got a lot of hype, and he's got a lot to live up to. But you never want to say can't miss prospect, but he kind of looks can't miss to me. That doesn't mean he's going to come in and be the number, one receiving option in the NFL. But to me, I feel that he is going to come in and be a easily startable wide receiver in fantasy football. We've seen Kyler Murray do well when he has a number one alpha receiver. He peppered Nuke with targets. He did decent with Hollywood Brown. So I just think he's definitely draft worthy. He's going to be a great NFL player. What say you, Jay Coleman?
I think he's going to be awesome. He's got everything. He's got the size. He's got the weight. He's the last 2 years of college ball, 2,500 receiving yards, almost 30 touchdowns. So, I mean, it's not great that he's got Kyler, in my opinion, but it's good enough to get the job done.
I mean, I disagree, just for the simple fact that look what Nuke did with Kyler. We don't think Kyler's a great passer, but like Nuke got it done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not like the best quarterback situation he could have, but it's definitely it'll get the job done.
Hey, there he is.
What's going on?
The no nickname, no nonsense.
Let's go. Sorry, I'm late, boys. Just finishing up a work call.
It's all good. You're late. All we talked about so far was the first player we talked about was Marvin Harrison. So Jay just finished his. What do you think about Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Oh, geez, throw me to the wolves here. I like Marvin Harrison. I mean, he's a product of one of the greatest receivers in the history of the NFL.
You're saying he came from the balls,
right? From the balls. I mean, he's a guy that can definitely make an immediate impact, especially on a team that doesn't have anybody who can make an impact.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, Kyler should be fine, I think. I mean, he had some flashes last season, kind of back to where he was putting up some fantasy numbers towards the end when he came back from his injury and everything like that. So I like Marvin Harrison. I think he's a good fit there. I guess being a good fit comes with seeing how he plays. But I mean, the way Arizona is going, I mean, what else do they have to lose?
Right.
The new Call of Duty's coming out though, so Kyler's going to be shit Kyler for that. So
Kyler will be shit. Yeah. What's the website again that we're using for the?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
So Saints Joe wants to know in the chat. By the way, Adam, we're live on Facebook and on Twitch. Live on Twitch. We were trying to be just on Facebook, but no one could find it, so we're on the Chazzcast Twitch. Saints Joe in the chat wants to know is Marvin Harrison Jr. a top 15 fantasy football pick this year? Not top 15 receiver, top 15 pick in fantasy football this year.
I'm going to go ahead and say he probably is, only because of where he was drafted. I mean, he was the 4th overall pick on a team that has no clear number one receiver except for him. Right. And it all really just depends on Kyler's play. If Kyler is back to normal and can start throwing the ball around again, then yeah, I think he's going to be. Should he be? Everybody knows how I feel about rookies, so we'll see.
What do you think, Jay? Do you think he is going to be? Or do you think he should?
I think he's probably going to be just outside the top 15. I'm thinking like 20 to 25-ish area, I think, is probably where he should be, I think, in my opinion. Now, with all the hype, could he definitely make it into the top 15 on a lot of people's? Yes.
Well, I think that's exactly what it is hype. I think the hype is what is going to probably get him
Yeah.
drafted as one of the top receivers this year.
Yeah, personally, I
I mean,
think top 15, I would probably pass in the top 15, but
I am definitely going to pass just based on because he's a rookie. So
Our boy who's too busy to fucking join us, but he's in the chat. Zag says he's going too high, and I'm hazard to agree with that, except for the simple fact of like, let me put it at you for this guy. Let me just give you this or that real quick. Marvin Harrison Jr., whom we're speaking of, Marvin Harrison Jr., or his former college teammate Wilson. I mean, who are you going to take? They're going right about the same time.
I am probably taking Wilson if I had to. If it was only those two players and I needed a wide receiver, I'm going to hate it. But if I really needed a wide receiver, I'm probably taking Garrett Wilson first over Marvin Harrison.
That's interesting. It's just interesting because we don't like Aaron Rodgers. We don't like Kyler Murray.
We don't.
And then these two were teammates, and Marvin Harrison was the clear-cut better receiver, right? So it's kind of just like a weird, right, pick. But, I mean, I get it. Like, we've seen Garrett Wilson do it before. What do you think about that Jay, those two guys?
I don't know. It's tough because, I don't like Rodgers. You don't know how healthy he's going to be. And it's the Jets. I think they're going to go probably like pretty close in the same area, but I think if I'm going to take a chance, I would probably take the chance on Marvin Harrison. Personally.
I think I'm with you there. I mean, I'm looking at what Dave is saying. We got a bunch of people in the Chazzcast. What's up to Goose? What's up to Zags? What's up to Saints Joe? What's up to James? James is there, Jay. But what Dave is saying in the chat is he's taking neither. Both are going too early, and there's much better players on the board later. So
I definitely think they're both going early for sure, in my opinion as well. But
so do you rank Devontae Adams ahead of these guys at 31 years old with no quarterback? It's a fair question. We know Devontae Adams is great.
I think he's in the ballpark with them. I think they're pretty, like all three are pretty close in the same range.
So you're either going old man that's shown it before, but has dog water quarterback, or the other two young guns who have at least decent. I mean, as much as we hate the guys, you could do a lot worse than Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. Like,
you
could Aiden O'Connell.
I think if I was picking, like if those were the three guys and I had to make a choice, like those were the only three, if I would probably go Harrison, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson.
100%. I agree with that.
I think I agree with I agree with that exact order.
That exact lineup. So, all right, guys, we're talking about the NFC rookies here. If you're just joining us, and we're not going to go too deep. We're not going to go past the fourth round unless we really have to. I know for Saints Joe we have to talk later in the episode. But so another pick that they had here, the Arizona Cardinals, is their third round pick,
running back.
Trey Benson out of Florida State, 6'1", 223. What is interesting about this guy is he is probably walking in as the number 2 running back behind James Conner, the Terminator, James Conner. And but the thing about James Conner, guys, is he's always healthy and plays every game, right?
No,
not even close, right? So we have seen James Conner be good especially this past couple of years. But we've also these past couple of years seen him be good for half the year because he gets hurt and misses half the year. So I think Trey Benson is just someone you have to keep your eye on because he's going to start 4 to 5 games this year in a Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison offense, and that could get him some points. I mean, it's fantasy football, y'all. That's what we have to think about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Benson is very good in the open field.
Mm-hmm.
He made a lot of guys miss. He's a big dude. I mean, you said he's 6'1", 222?
Yeah.
That's a big boy for a running back.
Yep.
And you're right about the James Conner injuries, and here's my thoughts on Trey Benson too. When you're looking to draft, if you have James Conner as your running back, whether he's you draft him as a running back 1, which you probably shouldn't. But if you have him as a running back 2, at the very least, you should definitely keep your eye on Trey Benson for that reason. And then you might want to call it a reach if you go for him early, but if you're holding on to James Conner, you're guaranteeing yourself a viable backup when he gets hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean, go ahead and draft him if you already have James Conner in your lineup. I would be okay with him being your next running back off the board.
Oh, wow. So you're talking like 7th, 8th round, go back to back, whatever it is?
I mean, if
oh, you said next running back, not next player. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying your next player. I'm saying the next running back for your roster if he makes it, that far. And I'm only saying that if you have James Conner and you were the one that drafted James Conner, right? Like, I'm not saying if you draft Breece Hall in the first round and then you came back and picked up, like, I don't know, name any other running back that's good. We'll say Josh Jacobs. Oh my God. Brain's fried today. Josh Jacobs. You're not taking Trey Benson, right? So I'm saying if you happen to get James Conner, go ahead and take a look at
Trey Benson is more valuable to the James Conner drafter than anybody else.
Yep,
I think so.
Right, that's what it is. Dave wants to say in the chat here that Conner is just breaking the top 20 of running backs anyway, so there's no guarantee that he doesn't lose the job in general, and that's true.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree,
absolutely.
Yeah. They drafted the kid for a reason. It wasn't like
James Conner's getting up there in age.
Yeah. Kid was a 3rd round pick. He wasn't a 6th round pick. It's Dave's got a point there. And Saints Joe said he's thinking about keeping him in the Fantasy Football Bros Keeper League. Please do. Go ahead. Keep him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please do. James wants to know, since we're talking about Brandon Jacobs, where we have Tiki Barber rated, Adam.
Running back 5.
All right, we're going to move on to an exciting team this year. And
we can skip them.
I don't even mean exciting just because of the players. I just mean exciting because of what they did in the draft after their free agency signing. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons in the first round, drafting Michael Penix Jr. I got choked up. The 6'3", 213.
That's because it's hard to say that they drafted him at 8 overall.
After giving Kirk Cousins the most money ever. Mind you, Michael Penix,
and reaching for this quarterback as well. So
and this is an old ass man. He is literally right now 24 years old. So you signed an old quarterback to the most money ever. And then you went and drafted a very old rookie, 24 years old. That is. I think James Cook is going into his 3rd year. He's not even 24 yet. So I don't know. I don't know about this pick. Michael Penix is very good. He's a very good, very accurate quarterback. Knows how to make the plays. Do not make any comparisons that he is a number 7 left-handed quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons who's African-American. He is not Michael Vick. This dude can't move. Yeah. He is not a running quarterback whatsoever. So please, people at home, don't confuse it. I've seen a lot of memes like that saying, "Oh, the left-handed going to." He is not anywhere near Michael Vick. This is more like Kirk Cousins. This is Kirk Cousins. An older prospect, very accurate, system-based. I think he's a great fit for the team. But you also just signed fucking Kirk Cousins to all this money. So it's wow.
And now you have the oldest drafted, QB who's going to sit there for, 2, 3, 4 years or whatever. And now he's pushing 30, and he's going to be your starting quarterback for 2 years before you have to get a new quarterback?
And some people are going to be like, but Fantasy Football Bros, what about Jordan Love? Well, Jordan Love was drafted at 20, 21, not 24.
Right.
There's a difference. Jordan Love started his first year at 24.
Right.
And that's the thing. Dave says in the chat that this is the worst usage of a draft pick in NFL history.
100%.
I mean, it's probably why they got a C-.
I was blown away at this draft pick after paying Kirk Cousins all that money. I don't know what they were thinking on taking a chance on this guy.
No, like you first of all, you waste all this money on Kirk Cousins, who's already old too.
You said
then you reach
that's your boy.
I know it is, but still, like you gave him a shit ton of money, and he's already aging. So like,
and coming off injury,
you did that, and then you reach to get an old ass QB after you just spent all this money on another old QB. So now he's got to sit on the bench. Like, what are we doing here?
Guys, I have live. No one's ever heard this. I have live audio feed from when they made this pick in the war room of the Atlanta Falcons. You guys ready to hear it?
What you got?
I'll take it as a yes. This is live feed from when Atlanta decided to take Michael Penix Jr.
Oh man,
What?
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
So that's
I was expecting the sausage drop.
this one made more sense, right?
Yeah.
So obviously,
know.
people at home don't draft him. I mean, unless Dynasty, sure, but Dynasty's going to be clogging up your roster. You could do better. I mean, he has to be drafted in Dynasty. He does not need to be drafted in standard drafts, in redrafts at all. Just don't even think about it. If something happens to Kirk Cousins, sure, run out and get him because he's got good weapons. Kirk Cousins, by the way, if he comes in the season healthy, I mean, this guy you could draft as a back-end starter almost, I think. I haven't done my rankings yet, but Kirk Cousins is going into some pretty goddamn good weapons. So, but that's later in the draft. But right now, nobody draft Michael Penix, and there's and there's no one else to really talk about because I don't want to talk about anyone after the 5th round. So, you guys ready to just move on?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna move on.
All right, we're going to move on to the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, they took Xavier Leggett, the wide receiver out of South Carolina. And if you guys have never heard this man talk, go and watch some interviews because he is Boomhauer, we've decided, right?
Yep.
So they went and drafted Boomhauer. Hey, he's going to be drafted in fantasy football. He's going to be a later pick. I mean, this dude's got to beat out 47-year-old Adam Thielen to be, Bryce Young's number one option. Adam Thielen did pretty good last year.
Yeah, he did. After you shit all over him and said he was washed.
I sure did. So, but he did fall off at the end of the season.
Sure.
He's old, man. He's right. It's a long season.
Adam Thielen fashion.
Yeah, it's very true, right? Typical Adam
Thielen fashion. Starts strong, finishes horribly. But he did have a good season for being on a new team
17 long weeks for his old ass. Adam, come on.
I know.
So he has to outplay the 72-year-old Adam Thielen, and he has to outplay Jonathan Mingo, who I'm not a big fan of anyway. And then they did sign Deontay Johnson. Right? They got Deontay Johnson. So no guarantee this guy sees the field, but you have to draft all these early drafts. This is a first-round receiver pick in the NFL. He's going to be drafted in fantasy football.
Absolutely,
you just need to decide where you like them. We're going to do our rankings later. You're putting them in there, but rookie, young quarterback, they could have a connection.
The current depth chart is Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and Xavier.
And that's I'm sure that's how it will be. Dave is calling Carolina the fantasy football wasteland. I mean,
they also got a C grade for their draft.
I'll tell you what, though, their second pick, Jonathan Brooks. That is somebody that you need to keep your eye on, folks. That was the first running back drafted this year. Jonathan Brooks in the second round. 6 foot, 207 pounds. I'm not a big Jonathan Brooks fan. He was a backup his whole career. He was Bijan's backup. He was a backup his whole career. But he's the number one running back drafted. They went and got him. He needs to outplay Chuba Hubbard. I don't even know if they still have him, but Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders. So this guy by week 5 could be the starting running back with Carolina. That might not mean much.
He had a great year last year, though.
But that was his first year starting.
What year did he tear his ACL? Jonathan Brooks, I think he had an ACL injury, wasn't it?
He's coming back this year, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I think he's coming back
to research here
from the injury.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I just
he
remember
had
hearing the name.
1,100 yards rushing and almost 300 yards receiving, so he had a pretty good year.
Yeah,
He's currently
he had a pretty good year.
listed as second on the depth chart. Chuba is first, and then Sanders is third.
Sanders made it to the third string, huh?
Yeah, it's currently
Love
yes.
Joe is calling for a Miles Sanders breakout year. I doubt it. You usually don't break out in your sixth season.
Right.
I don't think that's the case. But yeah, just something to keep an eye on. He's got to overcome garbage. If he's good, he's good. If he's good, he's good. But I want to move to the next pick because this next draft, because this is where we're going to talk about some players. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bears. They had two Bears
And an A rating.
2 top 10 picks, an A rating. They took one of the most talked about, one of the highest rated quarterback prospects, and they took I think an awesome wide receiver. So they did what you're supposed to do. They paired a young quarterback with a young receiver. Caleb Williams, little on the smaller side, 6'1", 215. But I mean, guy's a Heisman winner. Guy's a gamer, but he's also a major bitch. But I'll tell you what, coming into this draft, he was poised as a major bitch, and he went through the draft process no problem. He got drafted. He didn't put up a stink. He didn't do anything. He's walking into some awesome weapons. He's got aforementioned or soon to be mentioned Roma Odunze, but he's got Keenan Allen, he's got DJ Moore, he's got Cole Kmet. He's the blitz is there. Let me dump it off to DeAndre Swift. Like, this guy has weapons, and more weapons. So I'm telling you guys hate your rookies. Hate them all you want, because Caleb Williams is a starting quarterback in fantasy football this year. That might be like 10 or 11, but still, Caleb Williams, you could do a lot worse than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has better options. We'll just talk about what he has surrounding him. Caleb Williams has better options surrounding him than Trevor Lawrence. He has better options surrounding him than who else is one of the later quarterbacks? Anthony Richardson. The Richardsons has got his. Richardson's
Herbert?
not late. What'd you say, Herbert? He's got way better options.
Way better weapons than Herbert now.
Way better weapons than Herbert.
And he's got one of Herbert's weapons.
That's true.
Yep.
He's got better weapons around him than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
He's currently ranked the 14th QB.
Sure. So I will easily
fantasy.
slide him. So who do you got? Whatever it's there. Give me 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
9 is Kyler Murray, 10 is Jordan Love, 11 is Brock Purdy, 12 is Aaron Rodgers, 13 is Jaden Daniels, 14 is Caleb Williams, 15 Herbert, 16 Cousins, 17 Tua, 18 Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so wow, Trevor Lawrence 18. So looking at like Jaden Daniels and Kyler, their running makes a lot of that.
Yeah.
He's got better weapons than Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
He's got just as good weapons as Purdy.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yep.
I mean, if he's good, he should do great.
Yeah, I mean, he's got just as good as weapons as Purdy, right? So
I don't think he got part ownership in the team like he was requesting pre-draft, though. So,
and even though I love him, he's got better weapons than Jordan Love.
Yeah, his weapons are great. So, he better do something with it.
So yeah,
he is absolutely draftable, and for a guy who takes quarterbacks late like myself, I very well could take a chance on Caleb.
But you hate rookies.
I do hate rookies, but if I need a quarterback, I want a quarterback who's going to be throwing the ball to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift and Cole Kmet. And Cole Kmet hasn't had the greatest career, but he's had good years.
Probably a top 10 tight end in the league.
Absolutely top 10 tight end in the league.
Yep.
Usually late is when I draft my Dak Prescott, but we'll see what happens with our boy CD.
Saints Joe in the chat is calling Caleb Williams to be a top 4 or 5 quarterback by the end of the year. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, honestly.
He's got the weapons to do it.
He has, on paper, the weapons to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he says that Caleb Williams has better options than Jalen Hurts. I don't know about that Joe. It's close. They're similar. A.J. Brown is better than anything they have. Saquon is better than anything the Bears have. You can argue Devontae Smith falls in there somewhere.
I think Devontae Smith is a very good receiver.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is a very good. So I wouldn't go that far, Joe. But yeah, I Caleb Williams is definitely going to be awesome. Well, now I think they're having an argument in the chat over Williams or Murray or little fella. So we have to talk about Roma Odunze. Great talent, but as we just discussed, he's kind of buried.
He's definitely third on their list. So, I mean, if he is okay with playing wide receiver 3, he doesn't really have a choice because they have DJ Moore, they have Keenan Allen in front of him.
Yep.
But Odunze is a fantastic receiver. He's a guy that can make those contested catches, which, he did a lot of that in Washington. So
6'3", 215.
I mean, yeah, he's a big, tall guy. He can make those. He's going to have those one-on-one battles with small cornerbacks that he should win.
He was 21 of 28 last season for his 50-50 balls.
Wow,
those are pretty good numbers.
Damn.
So
those are pretty good numbers.
And even though I said he's a 3, he's definitely draftable because, as we said before, as much as I like him, Keenan Allen does sometimes get hurt. He got hurt towards the end of the season this past year.
He sure did.
So,
right, and guess what? Right during the fantasy playoffs when you need him most.
But the shitty thing about that is, what are you going to do? Sit on Roma Odunze for 15 weeks like you did with Quentin Johnston last year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of shitty part of it, but he needs to be drafted. And he should be drafted before Quentin Johnston. Relax, Saints Joe. We know you love Quentin Johnston, but Jesus, Saints Joe's calling in the chat. Allen, QB1, Burrow, QB2, Kyle Murray, QB3. Okay.
Kyler Murray, QB3.
Interesting, Saints Joe.
Ain't no way when Call of Duty comes out, he ain't going to finish QB3.
I am definitely never trading you Alvin Kamara.
James called him Quittin Johnston.
Basically.
This is going to be easy, guys. We're not really talking about position players past round 4. So the next one is the Cowboys, and they took a tackle, an edge, a guard, a linebacker. So moving on. But that's
they got
good.
a B- though. So.
But that's good because they took a couple of offensive linemen, help Dak out and help CD out, even though you guys never signed them to a contract yet, or Micah Parsons, you fucking idiots.
It's okay, Chaz. I'll do your job for giving the grades out.
Well, we'll move on to Detroit Lions, who also got an A. But again, they drafted literally no skill
one guard,
literally no skill players.
Yeah, literally nothing.
So, but hey, they're in the NFC Championship game, right? So we'll just move on. Nothing to talk about. They took a couple of corners, bolstered their defense. They needed help there. So
Dan Campbell said, "Nah, bro."
He did say nah, bro. We're going to move on to the Green Bay Packers in very Packer fashion. Jesus.
Words are hard.
They took no skill players until the 3rd round, but that seems to be working for them, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be working for them. And they took Marshawn Lloyd, 5'9", 210 running back out of USC, but the problem is they also just gave a big deal to Josh Jacobs, and they re-signed A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
So
he's a guy that doesn't need to be drafted.
No,
but he's something to keep an eye on because A.J. Dillon ain't it.
Well, I
agree, but that doesn't mean
the Packers just don't like him. They just don't like their backup running backs. They said no.
And then, mind you, this kid's a 3rd round pick. That's not a late pick. That's a 3rd rounder.
No.
So I mean, he is someone to keep an eye on, but until something shakes free, keep your eye on Marshawn Lloyd. He's a pretty explosive. I almost said receiver, but he is great out of the backfield. But he's an explosive running back. So the other 2 guys aren't explosive. You would never confuse A.J. Dillon for explosive. So
no, not even a little bit.
We'll move on because we're making it easy because we got some big guys to talk about later, but we're going to move on to the Los Angeles Rams. And the only player worth discussing here is their 3rd round pick of Blake Corum out of Michigan. The little bowling ball, as I call him, 5'8", 213 pounds, but I believe he led the college football in touchdowns. This guy has a nose for the end zone.
He had 27 last year.
That's a lot of fucking touchdowns.
Yeah.
This guy's got. This guy has
crazy.
a nose for the end zone. He is like a little fucking bowling ball. I know he's small. He's definitely small. He's not your number one back. But that makes, and I've said it before, like he is a draftable asset, and it makes me put Kyren Williams a little down in my rankings because Kyren Williams' bread and butter last year was a lot of touchdowns. And if this guy's going to take some away, it's going to mean Kyren Williams goes down. So Kyren Williams is now, maybe 7th running back instead of 4th. Not a huge drop off.
Don't slander our guy Kyren like that.
This guy's going to have some play. Again, like I said about the last few picks.
Every time, Jay.
Third round running back. It's not like this isn't a 6th round running back. This is a 3rd round running back. He was like the 3rd running back taken. So, it's just something to think about. He should be drafted. Simple as that. I'm sure you guys all agree about that.
He could definitely be drafted as a handcuff to Kyren. As we saw, Kyren went down with injury last year, missed a couple games, and Blake Corum's a guy who can step in and replace him easily. Michigan always, I don't know about always, but typically produces some pretty good running backs in the league. So it's definitely got to keep your eye on.
Yep, it's definitely got to keep your eye on. And guys, I know we love Kyren Williams, right? Sean McVay.
No, Jay and I love Kyren.
Yeah.
But you guys got to think of Sean McVay's history. Has he ever stayed with a running back more than 2 years? He got rid of. It does matter if you think about how he.
This will be
Kyren's
second year.
Second year, so we're perfectly
good.
Fine drafting Kyren Williams. If he goes somewhere else the following year, I'll figure it out then. He
likes to just burn through running backs. Even Todd Gurley. He put Todd Gurley in the fucking grave. They just moved on. Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson and Todd Gurley and
it's not our fault.
Cam Akers.
Todd Gurley's legs fell off.
Because he ran him into the ground. But
he also had a degenerative knee issue.
That is true too. But it's just something to keep your eye on with McVay. He gets off his running backs quickly, but you're right. He still might have another year here. He very much might have another year here. So that's all we're going to talk about from that team. I'm not talking about their 6th round wide receiver because they're buried in the depth chart anyway. So we're going to go on to the Minnesota Vikings, who took, speaking of Michigan's quarterback, J.J. McCarthy in the 1st round. Definitely needs to be discussed because, this is Justin Jefferson's quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going up against Sam Darnold. That's who he's competing against.
Yep.
Now, J.J. McCarthy is a good quarterback. You saw it in Michigan. He's got great vision. He knows how he can sling the ball. He went into a situation who he has one of the top wide receivers in the league going against Sam Darnold, who has also had some pretty good receivers in the league wherever he's traveled. He was just in San Francisco, started a couple games last year with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and he held his own. So it's definitely going to be a QB competition there. I wouldn't be surprised if McCarthy comes in, 3, 4, 5 games into the season and plays lights out.
And you're saying he's got the great weapon, but he's got great weapons because don't forget about
he does. He absolutely does, and Addison and Hawk and they just signed Aaron Jones as their running back now, and he's got great.
It's pronounced Aaron. Sorry,
Aaron Jones. He's got a great setup, and again, all he's got to do is beat Sam Darnold.
Which shouldn't be that hard. But by the way, shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Chat is having a great time right here. We have 10 people in the chat, so not bad for our first time.
What's up, chat?
We're calling Saints Joe dropping bombs. He said he's calling it right now. J.J. McCarthy will be a top 30 quarterback this year.
He might be.
Top 30 quarterback. But I don't have high expectations for him because he's got to learn the system. He's the least. I feel this system doesn't necessarily fit what he did so much in Michigan. I mean, he went from a pound the ball system to Kevin O'Connell's vertical system. So, like, he's got to learn it. The fact that Kevin O'Connell pulled the trigger on him makes me believe that he believes he has the big arm. A lot of people say J.J. McCarthy doesn't have the big arm. But why would Kevin McCarthy take him then? So,
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good setup. All he's got to do is win the job.
All right. So maybe we should skip the Saints so we can make sure that Saints Joe sticks around here. No, we'll talk about it. We got
Saints
the
in their
Saints.
A+ rating.
They got an A+. Well, they took the best tackle in the draft, and in the second round, they got one of the best corners in the draft. They got lucky. But the big one, of course, is Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler was famous for what? Being on that like Netflix show. I can't remember what it was, but he kind of got a bad rap because he was kind of doing like the what do you call it? The reality TV stuff. So he got a bad rap, and he bounced around from Oklahoma to where did he get drafted out of? South Carolina. Yeah, so Oklahoma to South Carolina. So, but he's good. Spencer Rattler is a gamer, man. He is nobody wants to hear it. I know it's the Oklahoma kind of connection, but he's kind of like Baker with a possible bigger arm and a little more athletic. So I think Spencer Rattler in the 5th is fine, but I don't. With given the Saints coaching options, I don't see him starting at all because they're not going to start a rookie.
He's currently 3rd on the depth chart too. It's Derek Carr, some Jake something, and then
from State Farm.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm, and then Spencer Rattler, and then Taysom Hill.
Saints Joe is calling him Pat Mahomes 2.0. You're just confused with the haircut. But
is he predicting Spencer Rattler to be a top 5 QB?
He's yelling at you. It's Jake Herner.
Whatever.
He better not be predicting to be a top 5 QB because he on this fucking defensive-minded head coach system, he's not starting. There's no way. Maybe in a couple years, but I don't hate Spencer Rattler. Do you guys know anything? Do you guys have anything about Spencer Rattler?
I don't really know anything about him, to be honest with you. So
he's a little undersized, but they made it work with what's his name? So I mean, they should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just tough. I know Saints Joe loves him. That's his team. I get it, but I just don't agree with that coaching staff. So we'll have to see. But a little more exciting to talk about rather than a 5th round quarterback who's 3rd string, who I possibly think could be the best receiver in this draft. New York Giants with Malik Neighbors. And I know that's a lot. 6 foot, 200. That's kind of prototypical of what people want nowadays. Explosive. Helped lead Jaden Daniels to winning the Heisman Trophy. Malik Neighbors is going to the Giants, and whether it's Daniel Jones, whether it's Drew Lock, whether it's Taysom Hill, who they trade for, I don't fucking know. Malik Neighbors is the best pass catcher in New York since Odell Beckham Jr.'s rookie year. Easily. They got nobody else. They got a bunch of slot guys, and now they've got an explosive guy. And Darren Waller just retired. So Malik Neighbors is going to be drafted. He's going to be a mid-round draft pick, 4th, 5th, maybe 6th round. This guy could have 90 catches. I mean, who else do they have?
They literally have no one. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. It's
They're all slot guys.
Darius Slayton,
Slot guy.
Wandale Robinson,
Slot guy.
Allen Robinson.
What?
Yeah.
They signed Allen Robinson? Seriously?
Yeah. Isaiah McKenzie, Isaiah Hodgins. And that's about the only ones I know.
They got both Isaiahs now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
they got shit.
they got nothing. They got nothing. So,
Oh,
I
the
get it.
Giants are shit, man.
He's got shit for quarterbacks, but
They got Tommy Cutlets, so.
receivers still gonna to catch the ball. I mean, just because he's got. I mean, given the I see the people in the chat making fun of Daniel Jones and shit, but With that attitudes, what are you thinking? Malik Neighbors is the 6th overall draft pick. What is he going to have? 24 catches? No, right? He's not.
No, Neighbors is a guy who he needs to be on the starting, in the starting lineup.
And this isn't
right off the bat
a defensive head coach. This is an offensive head coach. This is his guy. He picked him. I think he's going to be better than people think. I mean, I'm not putting him up there with Marvin Harrison, but I mean, he's pretty damn good, and I think people are sleeping on him just because of his quarterback. So sometimes receivers do good without quarterbacks. How did Garrett Wilson do his rookie year with Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
He won Rookie of the Year.
Pretty good.
So sometimes quarterbacks don't need, or sometimes receivers don't need elite quarterbacks who have a good year. You're taking this guy in the 5th or 6th round, not the first, right? So I think we're all in the same boat there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I think he's going to be explosive, but we'll see. We'll move on to the Eagles. There's no one to really talk about. 4th round running back Will Shipley, maybe, but they've already got 5 running backs plus Saquon. Saquon plus Boston Scott probably still, and Kenneth Gainwell still. So I don't know. We'll see.
Back corners with their first 2 picks.
Yep. So they have the corners. They have the 2. I heard a funny name. So since their 2 safeties are white guys, somebody named their safety crew the secondary. Since they're white guys, and I thought that was actually funny. I thought that was rather creative. The secondary.
That's actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. So nothing really else to talk about for them. They're you know what you're getting from them. So the Niners are coming up. They took in the first round wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, which was interesting. Interesting pick, 6'1", 192. This is a little thin guy.
Yeah, slot guy.
Coming out of Florida, slot guy, not kind of built like their other guys. Debo and Ayuk are kind of big guys. Well, Debo's huge. And Ayuk's a kind of big guy. So but this is obviously Ayuk's replacement next year.
Yeah, more than likely.
Right? So
yeah, Ayuk's probably out next year. I would think.
Does he get drafted? You're behind the 2 receivers. You got George Kittle for 6 games, and then you got Christian McCaffrey. Is this guy draftable? I don't know. I'm sure he'll be drafted.
He's 4th string wide receiver, plus you got Kittle and CMC ahead of him. So,
yeah.
If you do, he's going to be riding your bench probably.
Double-digit rounds, he'll be drafted, though.
True.
So I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to take him over somebody like Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mingo, he's just ass. That's all there is to say about that.
Yep.
Just take anybody over him.
Yeah, I just don't know what to say about this guy. I've been kind of mad on him the whole time. So we'll move on. Well, Seattle Seahawks, nothing to talk about. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, nothing to talk about. Yeah, Jalen McMillan, the third receiver, but they still have their 2 dogs. So
yeah,
and they got a defensive head coach.
Yeah, I wouldn't draft him.
Yeah, no, not worried about that. Okay, we're moving on. I think we're the last team. We're flying through this with the Washington Commanders.
Man, the NFC made that so easy.
Well, they had some big names, but not a lot of depth.
Yeah, they did, but they just
So we got to talk about him. Jaden Daniels, reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner, 2nd overall draft pick, 6'4", 210. Guy can run with the best of them. Heading into this offense, he's a perfect fit with Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is Cliff Kingsbury, but this man worked with Patrick Mahomes to be, to become Patrick Mahomes. Whatever, you can take it or leave it, but the guy has the Patrick Mahomes comes into the NFL. Kyler Murray, who we're talking fantasy football, has been pretty close to a stud in fantasy football. So now they're getting Jaden Daniels, who's a perfect fit for him. especially with his legs, he's got good weapons. Like, why can't Jaden Daniels be good? Adam, you hate rookies. Tell me why Jaden Daniels is not a top 12 quarterback in fantasy football. Can you?
Because he's on the Commanders.
But what does that mean? I mean, this
Got a
guy is
point.
an awesome
I don't know.
talent. He's got.
I mean,
great
I think Jay
receivers.
Daniels is great.
He's
and
got great receivers. Are we going to deny that?
No,
So
yeah.
his wide receivers are okay. I wouldn't say
Well,
they're
Scary Terry's
great.
great.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
but
Dotson's
outside of
still gotta
that,
pick it up. Dotson's got to pick it up. You're right, but Dotson's a first-round pick last year, and now you got, or 2 years ago, and now you got Scary Terry. So it's like, it's not like they're the worst. How about that? I mean,
No.
No, they're not the worst, and you know,
they got
Jay
Dave's favorite
Daniels
guy,
is
Austin
another.
Eckler.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot about that too. That's a great
yeah.
guy.
I mean, he's set up for success, regardless of being on the Commanders or not. Right? They have Jaden Daniels, who he's set up for more success than Drake May is in New England.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, it's like, can he be top 12? I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but
his
I mean,
running
yeah,
alone, man.
but if he's gonna take off and run, sure.
Let me ask you
Jeez.
this, Adam. Let me just cut that off. Sam Howell was a top 12 quarterback with the same
was.
team last year, right?
Yeah, he was.
Right? So, like, now we're talking somebody that's better and can run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm calling it right now.
like I
Jaden
said,
Daniels is top 12 quarterback.
like I said,
You know?
he's got all the tools and all the weapons to be great. Now it's up to him. Just go out and be great.
Do they still have – who's their head coach? Is it still the same fucking guy?
Isn't it
Rivera?
Cliff?
Is it still Rivera? Who is it now? No,
Cliff.
Cliff's their OC.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did they fire Rivera yet?
I think they did.
I think,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Because we said, because we talked about how it was like 4 years too late.
Dan Quinn.
That's right. Okay, defensive. Uh-oh. That's a defensive head coach.
Well, there's your second reason why he's not going to be top 12.
Rein that in. Let's rein the excitement in a little bit. You're right. You're very right. Like, that's a defensive head coach. So,
Yeah.
well, that was fun NFC breakdown. Actually, that was only 10 minutes shorter than last. So you see that, Dave? You talk for 10 minutes on the podcast.
Yep.
Because we're 10 minutes behind. So we're here for the second part of the show, guys. This is the exciting part. I love this part. We still got 7 people watching in the chat, which is nice. We're going on to the draft of our favorite running backs. And it doesn't mean the best. For the people at home, this doesn't mean the best running backs. What the favorite running backs means is you love to watch this guy, whether it's in the NFL or college. You like to use him on Madden. You loved him in fantasy football. It's time for the draft of our favorite NFL running backs in general to watch.
Oh, shit. I need to get cards, don't I?
In general, yeah, I'm
This
sure they're
fucking guy is late and he's not even prepared.
So, and this one's exciting. Nobody better draft any Saints because Joe's in the crowd. So, since Dave's not here, if we can, maybe we'll do 6 rounds if we can. If Dave's not here, since Dave's not here. Dave's not here. Adam is frantically looking for his playing cards to draw our numbers. If you
It's not
don't have
frantic.
them,
I know exactly where they are.
frantic, tick, tick, tick.
This is for Dave. I know he collects cards too.
So no,
These are the Nightshades, bud.
who collects cards, man?
Dave and I do.
Is that next to your stamp collection?
Yeah, I have a stamp collection. Do I look like a guy that has a stamp collection?
I mean, I collect I used to collect these bad boys, these pop heads, but I haven't bought one in a while. I kind of like got all the ones I wanted. So I feel you.
Okay.
So Adam is picking our cards, and we are just going to randomly pull them. Adam's got 1, 2, and 3. He's going to mix them up. Jay, you can pick the first one on your screen. Jay, pick 1,
All right,
2, or
Jay.
3.
Dead center.
Dead center for Jay.
Second pick, bud.
Jay's going
Right.
deuce. And then
Chazz. Mix these up again.
okay.
Left or right?
I'm going to go my left, your right.
Number 1, baby.
Oh, the number 1.
Oh, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, basically.
Which leaves me with 3.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that because I love Saquon Barkley. I think he's one of the best running backs ever. I might get him in the second round, knowing you fools. But no, my favorite running back to watch and use in Madden ever is easily Derrick Henry. Give me fucking Derrick Henry. Like, fucking monster. I say it all the fucking time. Size of Hulk Hogan, speed, run you over. I love Derrick Henry. Give me him in Madden. I'll take him all day in Madden. Give me him. I actually never really had him in fantasy football, but obviously we know how good he is in fantasy football. And how could you not love? How can you not remember New England Patriots versus Tennessee Titans? Tighten up. And Derrick Henry hitting like that 95-yard run to fucking put away Tom Brady and the Patriots. Derrick Henry, love him. Probably my favorite running back of all time. On my team.
I do.
And you're up, Jay.
I actually do remember that game too. That was
incredible.
awesome.
Incredible.
I'm going to take a Terrell Davis.
Oh, you motherfucker.
If James is in the audience still, he's got a little boner for that one. James was a big late 90s Broncos guy. So.
Oh, sorry. Are we doing 6 rounds or did you?
James already dropping the hay. He's seen it. Yeah, we could do 6 if you guys got enough guys pulled. Hell yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, TD. James is already loving it. That's James's guy right there. Great running back. Great find. Deep, not even an early draft pick. And I thought he was a pretty good analyst, too, on the NFL Network. Touchdown machine and ran Mike Shanahan's zone running scheme better than anybody else.
I really like Terrell Davis.
Well, you can't have him, but you're out.
I obviously can't have him. All right, my first pick, I have to go with the guy that I used to love watching all the time. Yeah, Dave, he is ignoring you. I know. I have to go with LaDainian Tomlinson, man. I loved watching that dude run. He had one of the best jump cuts in the league.
Yes.
And just watching him play game after game. And not even to mention the fantasy stats that he used to put up, unmatched.
I'd still
give me LaDainian Tomlinson is my favorite, one of my top favorite running back of all time.
Fun to watch, and I said it. I took him as the first running back in the all-time draft. I think he's the greatest fantasy football running back ever.
Absolutely.
So it's a very, very good pick. Dave, I am ignoring you. Don't make fun of my pop figures. And Dave said that his pick is still available. Well, too bad because you're not in the room. If you came in the room, you could pick your pick. But
yeah.
Adam, you're up for your round.
I'm back to back here. My second favorite running back of all time. Dude, I said it before, man. I was a Titans fan long ago. I'm going with Eddie George. I just love watching Eddie George run, dude. He was one of my favorite players. He is the one Titans jersey that I do not have. Like, give me some Eddie George.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Eddie George. Again, I always like to throw these out. Heisman Trophy winner again. We got 2 Heisman Trophy winners taken so far, both from the Titans, by the way. I mean, so fun to watch. Another big monster, but not as big as King Henry, but definitely a little more graceful.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Graceful, Derrick Henry. So beautiful to watch. And I believe he does like yoga now. Like that's his job. He's like does
I think he was doing an analyst. He was an analyst for a little bit. I think college football. I believe. Yeah.
All right, Jay. What you got in your second round?
I'm taking Marshall Faulk.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
I mean, if you're saying LT's the greatest fantasy running back ever, I mean, Marshall Faulk's a close like second or third.
Yeah,
pretty close.
I mean, he was great with the Colts, but once he got into the Rams, forget about it.
Well, Dave, you're not in here, so you can't get him, bitch.
Greatest show on turf. James is right. All right, we'll move on to me, and I'm keeping with my power backs here. I've got this guy's jersey right in my closet in there. This guy is a fullback, but when he threw on that creamsicle jersey for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you want to fucking enjoy yourself. Just watch highlights of Mike Allstott from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That fucking man,
that dude was a beast.
An insane beast. Hand him the ball. he's looking for these little tiny corners and these little safeties. Like, where you at, bro? Like, and he was so flexible for his size too. Like, you would see these guys would like dive at his knees, and he would bend over and shoulder them into the ground and keep going. I'm sure it's not a surprise how much I love Mike Allstott. I'm very happy to get him and Derrick Henry on my team. Like, Jesus, like, you can't tackle these two. These are two of the greatest power runners of all time. So,
I liked watching Mike Allstott.
Oh, I love it. I love watching his things. And then, of course, I'm going to take Saquon Barkley as my third pick.
Of course.
Yeah, we figured.
My guy. I think he's one of the most talented running backs of all time. Love watching him. Love having him on my fantasy teams. Love using him in Madden. His rookie year, 93 receptions his rookie year. Get the fuck out of here. Love Saquon Barkley. Love him. So he's on my team. So we're over to you, Jay. Who is your third round pick?
All right, my pick is the bus, Jerome Bettis.
You motherfucker.
No business being a running back, but this big ass motherfucker just plowing through people like it was nothing, man.
I mean, he was my logical next pick with all my beefy
That was
boys
my next. That was literally my next pick. Fuck.
I still remember, and I say it all the time. I still remember his one stat line: 3 carries for 1 yard and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's all you got to say about Jerome Bettis. And people forget that this guy was actually started his career for the Rams. And the Rams traded him away because they thought they were going to get the next big running back in Lawrence Phillips, who I believe went to prison for something bad. So, Rams done messed up.
On top of that, he had almost 14,000 yards for his career. For as big as that guy was, it's impressive.
Yeah, he was great. He was, when I call Blake Corum the little bowling ball, he was the big bowling ball.
Yeah.
He was literally the big bowling ball.
He was like
he might have been the biggest running back to ever run the ball.
No, I think that's Derrick Henry. But watching Jerome Bettis was kind of like watching that scene in Indiana Jones of that ball chasing down Indy. Like, that's Jerome Bettis.
5'11", 255 is what he was listed at.
5'11", 255 Derrick Henry's 6'4", 240. So, monsters. Awesome. All right, Adam, you're up. What you got for your third round pick?
Oh, man. Well, seeing as Jerome Bettis is gone now, I got to go with the classic, man. Barry Sanders, dude. I'm taking Barry Sanders, and he retired so young because he didn't want to play for a shit team. But, man, was he fun to watch run the ball.
Yeah,
for sure. Awesome.
I hate that he retired young.
Well, start off the fourth. What you got?
My next pick. This is my own. It's not my unorthodox one. I'm gonna get him later. I'm gonna take a guy that I really like watching for Seattle, and I'm taking Marshawn Lynch.
See, you don't say Buffalo.
He didn't really like to be here, but he really had good years in Seattle after he left Buffalo. Not that he didn't have good years in Buffalo, because he did. But, man, watching Marshawn Lynch fucking run the ball, and he clipped so many teams just with his beast mode. And, oh, my God, Marshawn Lynch was so much fun.
Yeah.
I had to take him. I can't believe I'm actually surprised he lasted this long.
We like power backs here on this show.
Yeah, give me Marshawn Lynch all day.
Power backs don't even exist anymore. Even in like Madden, like they don't have like the only two power backs in Madden are like Derrick Henry and AJ Dillon. No, Josh Jacobs. Everybody else is like a finesse back in Madden.
Yeah,
they don't exist anymore. All right, Jay, what is your fourth round pick, bud?
I'm going Frank Gore.
Wow. Okay.
Dog, he's on my list too.
That's surprised. Just surprised. I didn't just think you were going there.
Why? I mean,
I just never thought you liked him.
Yeah, I mean, guy played for like 100 years as a running back. Impressive. Played for the 49ers. That was my team back in the day. So, I mean, guy's a legend. You don't see running backs play as long as he did anymore. So,
yeah. Very underrated back his whole career. Even coming out of college, like people forget, like he was the third string running back in Miami. Third string. He was behind Portis and McGahee. And then him. Like, it was just wild. All right, great pick. Frank
Yeah,
Gore.
I
I'm
like
going
Frank Gore a lot.
to take one that is that's not controversial. I believe is a Heisman Trophy winner, one of the greatest athletes of all time, two-sport athlete, and his injuries ended his career early, and that would be from the Raiders, Bo Jackson. What an athlete!
Had him on my
Dual
list.
sport athlete.
Dual sport athlete, big,
And was good.
fast, just an awesome running back. He came into the league so touted that they drafted him for maybe not first overall, but wherever they drafted him in the top 5 or whatever. They had Marcus Allen, who just was almost NFL MVP the last couple of years. They draft this kid, just too bad, Marcus Allen. You're moving to fullback, buddy. You're even though you're smaller than Bo Jackson, you're going to fullback. How can you not love Bo Jackson? Love Bo Jackson. So that was my 4th pick. I'm happy to get him on the team. And then James, you're right. You're right here, James. You're right with my 1 pick here because I'm going with the greatest college running back of all time, and he's finally going to get his Heisman back, hopefully, for Mr. Reggie Bush.
I was waiting for you to take him. I had him on my list too.
He was something different. There's a lot of Heisman winners every year, right? Obviously, there's a Heisman winner. But this guy is something different. Watching him in USC, and Saints Joe should be happy. I drafted a Saint. But watching him in USC was just something special. And just electric. Catch the ball, run past you, bang a Kardashian. This guy did it all. So, Reggie Bush, welcome to my team, and I'm very happy with my team so far. I finally got a shifty back, not a power guy. So
There you go.
all right, Jay, we're moving on to you, bud.
Taking the GOAT himself, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Still holds the record for most rushing yards in his career.
And I believe he has the most rushing touchdowns, I believe. So,
And probably never going to be broken because the running the ball is a thing of the past.
yeah.
No, unless Henry plays another 6 or 7 years or something, but I doubt it. The guy's already 30. Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
I actually am old enough, of course. I remember him torching the Bills in the Super Bowl and stuff, but I'm actually been playing fantasy long enough that I had Emmitt Smith on one of my early fantasy teams when he was a Cardinal. I had Emmitt Smith. He was one of my starting running backs when he was a freaking Cardinal. So
That's wild.
nothing wrong with Emmitt Smith. All right, Adam, what is your 5th pick?
Are we doing 6?
We could do 6. We could do 7.
Wait, we're. Oh, yeah.
Because this is pick number 5.
This will be 5 and 6.
You'd have 5 and 6.
You guys want to go 7?
All right. I'm done with whatever. I don't care. I just wanted to
let's
see where I can get this other guy.
Shoot it. We'll go
That's
7.
fine.
We'll do 3 more because we're making good.
But I'm going to take a guy that I love drafting in fantasy football who was very involved in the passing game. You can always count on him catching, 50 to 100 catches a season. I loved watching Matt Forte.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm taking Matt Forte because that guy was a fantasy stud when he was in his prime.
Giving Jay a little boner.
I got to take Forte. I tried to draft him all the time.
Very nice. Well, then we'll say what your 6th pick is, and we'll do one more round. We're going to go to 7, though. So what's your
We'll go to
6th?
7? All right, my 6th pick then. I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it new school here. I gotta take Christian McCaffrey here, man. I love watching Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy. When that guy touches the ball, man, he's got the potential to score on every single touch that he gets in a game.
Yep.
He's very elusive. When he is healthy, he is the best running back in the league today.
Fun to watch him rack up those points on your fantasy team.
Yep.
James is saying he was a big fan of Matt Forte. I remember that, James. I remember your team name was I'm a Man, I'm Forte.
You guys remember what fantasy football did? I think it was NFL. They did those the fantasy files.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt Forte was one of them.
Probably.
If I'm not mistaken.
Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson was.
Fitz,
Maurice Jones-Drew was.
JD. Oh, there's someone that could be drafted.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. What do you got for your second to last pick here?
I'm injecting some youth, just because I got a lot of old guys, and I gotta go with my guy Kyron.
Oh my God!
Hey, he's great to watch, man. I want to hear it.
6 good games, and that's it. He's on Jay's all-time.
Yeah,
right. Fair enough.
Hey, running backs only last like 2 seasons, so I mean, he played 1 season, so
2. He was rookie. He was hurt, but
whatever.
But you're right. He played 1 season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. Hey, that's your team, man. Kyron Williams. Not expecting that, to be quite honest. So
he's fun to watch.
I agree.
right.
I'm a fan.
So we're going to go to my last 2 here. And I'm going to go with a man's who I drafted in the all-time fantasy football team. This is the ultimate flex, one of the best running backs out of the backfield. You put him in your flex in fantasy football. You wait. He's got 4 points until about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then by the end of the game, he's got 22 points. Give me fucking Danny Woodhead. I love this kid so much. Like, he was just so fun.
I did not expect that.
I loved Danny Woodhead. He was so fun to watch because,
you
like,
make fun of me or Kyron.
Danny Woodhead at least was in the league like 10 years before I drafted him. Because you got to remember, we're thinking about Chargers Danny Woodhead, but he was on the Patriots too. Like, he was like, yeah, he did a lot. Like, Danny Woodhead has a better career than people think. Like, he was never a guy that was running for like 1,000 yards, but like out of the backfield passes, like I always remember probably beating James over here in fantasy football. Like I said, Danny Woodhead's got 4.2 points with 5 minutes left in the game, and he's got 25 points because he just caught 10 balls for 100 yards. So he was always someone I liked watching. And then I guess I'm torn between 2 guys on my last pick. So do you guys have enough to go one more round?
I can go 7. I have another one.
Or would be 8 now? Would be 8.
Oh.
So you guys got
Make
enough
up your
for
fucking
couple?
mind, bro.
Let's go 2 because hopefully I can get both of my guys. We'll go 2 more rounds because this is fun. So right here, then I am going to take sticking with fantasy football legends, fun to watch, and he was kind of before his time. I feel in fantasy football, another big guy, fast, catch the ball. I was a big fan of Steven Jackson for the Rams. I loved what Steven Jackson did for the Rams. He was always capable, always catching passes, one of the best fantasy backs in the league. It was fun to watch. He was fast for his size, but he's a big guy. So I like Steven Jackson. So Steven Jackson is on my team, and we're going to go this round and then one more. So, all right, Jay, what you got?
I'm going to take. You threw me off a little bit with adding. Keep adding on.
Yeah, wait. So we're on round 7, right?
Yeah, 7 of 8.
Okay. All right.
So you guys both got 2 more.
I'm going to take Le'Veon Bell here.
Oh, yeah, you love Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he was electric for a while. So
fantasy,
yeah.
He's a great fantasy player when he was with the Steelers.
Yeah.
And what's the one word they always said about Le'Veon Bell's game?
What?
Anybody? Patient.
Yes, very.
Oh, patient. Just waited for those holes. Great fantasy back. Fun to watch. Fun to use in Madden.
He was a different back in his day. It didn't last long, but he was great.
Good. Very good pick. All right, Adam, you're on your second to last pick here.
I'm on 7, and I'm going back for 8, right?
Yep.
All right. Oh man, 7. This is crazy. I'm gonna take Ricky Williams here.
Oh, good pick.
I love Ricky Williams. I loved watching him in Texas. I actually had a Ricky Williams jersey. I didn't know it was a Ricky Williams jersey until like a year after I bought the jersey. It was just an orange. I was a fan of Texas back then when I was a kid, and I'm very upset that I ended up losing that jersey. But Ricky Williams was so much fun to watch, man. That dude just didn't care about anything, and the way he ran the ball was just so much fun.
I actually got Ricky Williams on the phone right now. Hey, Ricky Williams.
Oh, man.
What?
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
Thanks, Ricky Williams. I believe another Heisman Trophy winner and going down in history as one of the worst trades of all time. I mean, I know he was a good player, but fucking Mike Ditka traded his entire draft to move up 10 or 8 spots to take Ricky Williams. They were giving the Bills, saying, oh, they picked up a second-round pick next year for the Stephon Diggs trade. This motherfucker traded his first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, fourth-round pick, fifth-round pick, sixth-round pick, seventh-round pick, and I believe one pick the following year for Ricky Williams to move up 8 spots. So, wild trade. Nothing wrong with Ricky Williams there.
Yeah, I loved watching him. And my 8th pick, this is going to be a crazy one. And this is solely based on just the way he ran. I loved watching Darren Sproles. I am taking Darren Sproles as my 8th pick because he was so short and his legs were so short that when he ran, it was just hilarious to me. And I loved watching him just like pump his little fucking legs and his arms down the entire field.
Hey there, little fella.
Oh yeah, another really, really small guy.
Nothing wrong with Sproles. And if you think back about that time that Atlanta had him and Michael Turner and I think Warwick Dunn, wild that he had all of them.
I forgot he played for Atlanta.
Yeah, they had them all at once, I think. Or was it? No, I'm sorry. It was L.A. was Michael Turner and him. Yeah. He was part of like that 3-headed monster in L.A. or San Diego. Sorry. Michael Turner was on Atlanta. It threw me off. But yeah, it was Michael Turner, him, and LaDainian Tomlinson. Like wild. All right, Jay, who is your last pick?
Last pick is going to be Priest Holmes.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
What is wrong with Priest Holmes?
I debated on taking him too.
Yeah.
One of the premier, probably if we said that Falk is number 3 and LT is number 1 of that time, Priest Holmes is number 2, right between those two.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was a fun guy to watch.
Even though it was a system, because right after that they plugged in Larry Johnson with no fucking problem. Right? But still, and I think right after that they plugged in Jamal Charles, but hey, it worked.
Yeah.
Priest Holmes was fun, though. I liked him. Another guy that came out of nowhere. All right, with my final pick, I'm going back to the well of the big monsters, and this is a man that I loved to watch. He's big, he's powerful, he's quicker than you thought. He was the first running back in my memory to rush for 2,000 yards. That is Jamal Lewis.
Oh!
Jamal Lewis for the Ravens. Another fucking monster. Run through you.
Yeah.
2,000 yards. Loved him on Madden. Loved him in fantasy.
Peyton Hillis. That's funny.
Peyton Hillis did. Pretty similar, too. But, yeah, we're going to go Jamal Lewis. Peyton Hillis I liked Peyton Hillis for that 1 year. But, all right, let's go over our team, guys. We're going to do, So, all right, guys, this is my draft of my favorite running backs of all time. We have got Derrick Henry, Mike Allstott, Saquon Barkley, Bo Jackson, Reggie Bush, Danny Woodhead, Steven Jackson, and Jamal Lewis. And I'm going to send it over to you, Jay.
All right, my favorites: Terrell Davis, Marshall Faulk, Jerome Bettis, Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith, Kyron Williams, Le'Veon Bell, and Priest Holmes.
All right, Adam, and then we're going to send it over to you.
I got Daniel Thomason, Eddie George, Barry Sanders, Dave's boy, Marshawn Lynch. Sorry, he went number 4. Could have been number 1. Then we go Matt Forte, Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Williams, and I ended with Darren Sproles.
Hey there, little fella.
It's not good drafts. I mean, Dave can have whatever he wants to say, but he didn't show up for the draft, so he didn't get to draft his players. So,
no, he did not.
All right, guys, we're going to be back. It seems like this live show was a hit. We've had pretty much 8 to 10 people in the chat this whole time, so not bad for the first time.
Yeah.
So next week, guys, we're going to be back probably Wednesday night. We're going to be previewing the Western divisions, the NFC West and the AFC West. And as you guys know, the AFC West, they are home to
Reigning, defending, undisputed
Super Bowl champions. So, and I believe the NFC West is home to the
reigning, defending, undisputed
NFC champions. So it's a good place to start.
I like it.
So We'll talk about all their two new team additions and what happened, his additions, subtractions, and we'll give a little early prediction of what we think. It's not our official picks. Our official picks come in August, so we're allowed to change our minds, but we're going to give you our quick picks from there. So Dave said his draft would have been legit. Well, if he would have showed up, that would have been nice. All right, Adam. So, hey, thanks for making it. You made it.
I did make it. Yes, I did.
You made it. You missed half of one guy. Perfect time.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent.
Perfect one time. So thanks for checking it out. Jay, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Everybody in the chat. I know we had Saints Joe, we had Dave, we had James chatting in there, and it said there was 8 people, so there were 8 to 10 at some time. So a lot more people just lurking, which is nice. All right, guys, remember to check out my other channel, The Chazzcast. We were streaming on The Chazzcast on Twitch, so we're probably going to start doing that from now on Wednesday nights as of now. Probably about, just say, 10 p.m. Eastern time to be safe. And all right, guys, until next week, we will see you then, guys. Peace.
Later, guys.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.